guys, my name is Kaitlyn. This is Mandy. I have Mandy on today. She has an awesome testimony. I just want to share a little story about Mandy. Before Jared went to recovery, a little while after I was saved, I actually went to the furniture store that she works at. And she actually sat down on the couch with me and listened to me tell her my whole everything. And she just sat there and talked to me while I cried. And I think about that all the time. And that was so important to me, really, that you did that. You were really there when I needed you. And this is actually almost the identical couch
I know
that we were sitting on.
Yeah.
So Mandy's going to tell us her testimony today. And where do you want to start?
Well, I'll just basically start, let's see. I mean, my family, I had a good family life. I mean, my mom and my dad, they actually divorced when I was young, but my dad loved me, my mom loved me, my grandma. I didn't have a bad family life. Some things in my life happened in between, after the divorce to high school. Basically, I was molested when I was in 4th grade, just touched. But we finally, I told my mom, and we finally moved from there, and we moved around a little bit, and we finally moved back to Baxley, and I started 6th grade there. And I was always really shy, kind of the nerdy kid, so I got picked on, and I had big glasses, but I always felt, I was just really shy. I was always nervous, I always felt like I was different, something was different. But basically my school, it was okay. I mean, I went to school and I didn't really have any problems besides, just normal kid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, I guess around the age of 13, I kind of wanted to fit in, so I kind of followed the wrong crowd, and I would drink and smoke a little weed. And then I would want to go see my dad and my mom. It was really hard to go see my dad. I was a daddy's girl, and to be pulled away from my daddy that was always a hard thing. So just fighting all those normal kid things, I started drinking here and there, smoking weed and stuff like that. And I always just felt something was missing, like there was a hole there. I felt alone, like my mom was there. She had me and my 2 sisters. She did everything she could do to take care of us. She was a wonderful mother. Sometimes I know she probably thinks she wasn't because I put her through, but she was a wonderful mom. And I just was fighting from a young age. And I remember just being alone. I felt alone even in the home. I always felt like I just wasn't loved. Like it wasn't enough. I wasn't enough. And so then I tried to take over-the-counter pills to end my life then, but it didn't work. I just had a really bad headache and it scared me to death. And then my mom would take me to doctors and they would try to put me on one medicine and on the next. And I'd do okay for a little while, and then I'd go back to the drinking or the drugs, and just trying to follow and just trying to fit in, basically. And then came boys. I was a little later. I didn't really have a boyfriend until I was 17, but I got a bad boy, a little bit older than me. He had a truck, that kind of thing. We dated for a little while, and then I got in trouble, and he snuck in the house, and he got caught, and then he got sent off after that. And then I met somebody else. And this is the hard part to tell about my story, just because it was the really hard thing, a decision I had to make. I got pregnant. We got engaged, and I got pregnant. And I didn't want to tell my mama because I was afraid that I couldn't go to college, and then the father really didn't want the baby anyway. So I made a choice to go have an abortion. And all I remember was going down there and going through one of the worst things I'd ever done in my entire life. I remember it was just horrible. And I'm not going to go into details with that, but it was horrible. On the way back, I stared out the window and I just cried. And it took me probably 35 years to free myself. But I'll tell you a little bit what I learned from that in the end. So that was kind of hard. And so I held that in, did that behind everybody's back, and then 6 months later, Mom was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I had to tell her what I had done. So then I was ashamed. So I've always felt different, and then I felt shameful, like I had just done the worst thing in the world. I mean, we went to church when I was young. I knew there was a God. I remember being saved. I didn't know about a relationship with Jesus. And so I'd go to these church camps, and we'd have a good time. And Mama would drop us off. We'd go to church. She'd go to church with us sometimes. So I knew about church, and I knew there was a God. But I always felt like if I wasn't, I felt like I was never going to be good enough anyway for Him. And I didn't want to fail God, so it kept me out of church. Let's see. And so after that, I graduated high school. I got homecoming queen. So I went from the nerdy kid that got picked on to homecoming queen. It blew my mind. So it's crazy how everything works out. And then I graduated high school, and I was either going to go to the military or I was going to go do hair. It was just way opposite.
Yeah.
But, so I went to do hair, and when I went over there to do hair, I had done drugs here or there, but I never really got addicted to anything. I was just following the crowd, basically. Yeah. Just having fun, partying, that kind of thing. And then when I went to college, I got there, and the story of my life is I met a man. And so I was in there, me and this girl got real close, and her brother was real close to them, and I met him and started dating him, and he was like one of the biggest prank dealers in Effingham County. And so then I went down a road, a hardcore road. Like I seen some things I shouldn't have seen. I've been in places making dope, seen people just really hardcore stuff that if you said anything, you could get hurt or in trouble. And basically my mom, like probably about 6 months into it, I was going to the private school. They were paying for the private school. They were paying for my place to live. The sister of my friend at the time had called my mom and said, your daughter's coming in. She's pale. She's skinny. I mean, I hadn't been eating and drinking. I hadn't done nothing. Like 12 days. We'd be up for 12 days. Yeah. And I would come in like that. And she called my mom. My mom called me and she said, if you want to stay there, you're going to have to go to rehab. That was the first time anybody ever said anything about rehab. And at that time, I mean, I was like, I'm not addicted to nothing. I'm just having fun. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up staying there, but they quit paying for my school and quit paying for my apartment. So I had to get 2 jobs, and I was waitressing. So I did that on and off, and all we did was work and drink. So basically, I just did that for the longest. I was just really searching in all the wrong places, trying to fill that void. Yeah. So after a little while, I ended up wanting to come home. Came home and because I had quit there. I almost graduated. It was 9 month program, and I left on the 7th month program, 7 months into it, and just worked and done the same old things. And then I got raped on Tybee Island because I waitressed there, and I waitressed in Every Tuesdays in Savannah. And after that, I was like, I got to leave from here, mm-hmm. and went back home and was doing good for a little while, and went back to college to do hair. Just started all over. But it was always drugs, or it was always me, and I was always searching for that love. Yeah. And it always got me in trouble. And it just led to more different kind of drugs. And then I went to a rehab after that. I had got on pills, Oxycontin, and couldn't get off of them. And so I told them, I said, I need to go somewhere. So they sent me to rehab. So basically, that was just the cycle that I was going through over and over, back and forth. I'd go to rehab, get out, and do good for a little bit, and then I'd go to the bar, hang out, and then I met my first child's father, and partied and got with him, was with him for a little while, and then got pregnant with Harley. And to be honest, it scared me so bad. I was thinking about doing the same thing. And I called Mama and I said, I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do it again. I can't have an abortion. I said, you're not to help me. So they got me a place, and I ended up having her. He left me 5 months into the pregnancy. So then I was a single mom, fighting addiction, fighting life. I was scared to death. Didn't know how to be a mama. Didn't know how to be me. Didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
So I had her, and but the whole time fighting addiction, fighting defects. I do go for a little while. My mom called defects, and we'd fight and fuss, but it was just the same thing over and over and over. And then what's next? So after Harley, it was just basically a cycle. I just was over and over and over. It was a man or drugs, just back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I met Brooklyn's daddy, and had her. We ended up getting married right before I had her. And I mean, it was really good at first, but we ended up having a very abusive relationship. We were both on pain pills. With just toxic. Went through a lot of things that nobody should have to go through. But the dog was there the whole time. Had her, fought addiction, basically got kicked out of his house because he wanted a divorce. Threw me out, kept her, so then I lost her too. But I mean, in between that, Harley had grew up. When me and Brooklyn's daddy were together, my first child, she got cancer at 7 years old. She had 6 tumors wrapped around her abdomen, a 20-40% chance to survive. And I remember hitting my knees in the hospital, and I said, Lord, you took my daddy, because my daddy drowned in 2009. I said, you took my daddy, if you take my baby, you're going to take me. And I wasn't living for the Lord at the time,
Yeah.
but I knew, there was a God. And he saved my baby. She's actually about to be 20, and she's 10, 11 years in remission. She's a miracle.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And even in that, we went through all the treatments and everything, and I just was still on pain pills, back and forth, numbing it. I was there with her, but I really wasn't there with her. And then that's when before the divorce, I was taking her to Mama's. Mom was going to take her to the doctor because I was going to get all my stuff after the divorce, and was on the way to go get all my stuff, and partied the night before. Had fell asleep on my mama's driveway, and when I got up, I didn't take anything that morning, but I guess from everything from the night before, I was on the way to Vidalia, and there was a police. He was posted up at the bridge, radaring, and I fell asleep at the wheel and hit him 65 miles an hour at a dead stop. It woke me up. If he wouldn't have been there, I would have went into the river, and I probably would have drowned. So the Lord had him there for a reason.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is he's in retirement. When I hit him, he had to have surgery, had to be in retirement, and I didn't go to prison. Because of my stepdad knew some people. I got DUI, failure to maintain lanes. I went to jail, did probation. But in that sense, I lost my child not lose my child. My mama got her. They said either you can hand your daughter over to your mother, or DFAS is going to get involved. And so I handed her over to my mom, which was the best thing. Now I know that.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose her from cancer, but I felt like I had lost her either way.
Yeah.
And so I went through that, and my mom had her for that all the time after that. Then I got the divorce, and I was homeless. I was motel to motel. Started shooting up pills, and I had been in so many wrecks. I'd been in like 6 wrecks, so I could go to the doctor and get prescribed pain pills and Xanax and all that stuff. So it was my excuse, because I had an excuse. The doctors were writing to me. And then I started using that as an excuse to sell pills, because I was getting divorced, I had kids, I had to survive, I had to take care of it. It was just easy, fast money. And then I became addicted to that. There was no way out. And then when I want to come off pills, I do meth to try to come off the pills. It's just back and forth, back and forth. I was a terrible mother. I was not consistent. I love my babies, and I didn't mean to hurt my babies. And I spent the rest of my life loving them and showing them Jesus, so that maybe they'll not make the same mistakes I made. But those are just some of the things that happened. But really, the other things that happened before that was just life happening. But after I graduated and I made all those decisions, I hurt me and all the people that I loved the most. Not even meaning to. Really, I mean, it just got so bad. All I wanted to do was just die. I'd been to jail. I'd been to like 12 detoxes. I've been 5 long-term rehabs. Right after the last rehab, I did good for like 2.5 years, and then started back and got into another wreck. I just been in the same wreck. I should have been dead. Like my mama, I don't see how she's not in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Because how many times she's pulled up and I might not be here. I can't imagine doing that with my child. I hurt her. I hurt my family. And it just sucks. But after all of that, everything that I went through was for a purpose. It was for a reason. I'm just a miracle. So after that wreck, I was like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna get help this last time. I need some help. And I had overdosed, and my child was at the house. So Brooklyn was actually there. She was 9 at the time, and I was going to the doctor. Didn't have any pills, and somebody brought me one just so I could have something in my system. And so it was me and a guy and her, and I don't remember the story. I don't remember what happened, but my 9-year-old was the one that told me. She said, Mama, you were laying on the floor. You were purple. You weren't breathing. She had to get the guy to call 911. I thank the Lord for my child that she was strong enough to call 911. They got there. It took them 5 shots of Narcan and 1 EpiPen and an hour and a half to revive me. So when I woke up from the hospital bed, the doctor said, you must have seen God, because you're a miracle. Nobody makes it through that. And I was distraught. Because I had failed everybody again. And I had lived. I mean, no matter what, I couldn't kill myself. Because I knew that I would go to hell, really. I always just knew I couldn't do that. But I was basically trying to in other ways. I just wanted to end the pain. So after that, they were taking me to the rehab after they brought me to, and I turned around, told them to turn around. If I wasn't getting in trouble, I just wanted to go home. Walked from the hospital to the house that I was living in. My mom was packing a bag, and I hid in the bushes until she left. Stayed there, took a shower. There was no lights in the house, but it was cold water. And then left and went to Reedsville. And actually overdosed 2 more times that month. I'd take a half of a pill, overdose, wake up in the hospital, and the pill was on me. I was like, I gotta get rid of this, overdose again. Just a miracle. So after that, that's when I called Mom, and I said, hey, I've got to have some help. So she went looking for places or whatever, and she found a place, and then they ran my probation, and I had a warrant. And so I was like, okay, now what do I do? Turn myself in, or do I run? But I was so tired at that point.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was I just wanted it in. I wanted the pain to stop. And so I knew it was crazy about the Holy Ghost was like, call your mama. And I didn't even know about the Holy Ghost then, but something in me was like, just call your mama. So she came and got me. She got me some food, and I turned myself in. And all I remember, they put me in solitary confinement upstairs in the jail. And once they put me in, I just broke into tears. I remember there was a Bible right there. Because I'd been in jail a few times, and every time I got to jail, I would read my Bible. I didn't know what I was doing or what I was reading. I was just reading because I knew I needed to read my Bible. And when it was in there, I just opened it up. I just was crying. I said, maybe I'll find something. Maybe something will click. And I stopped. I put it on my lap, and I looked up. I said, God, if you're real, I need you to show me. I need you to do something. And literally, all I heard, I was looking up at the little window there. It was dark, pitch black dark. All I heard was, hold on, I'm coming. This is going to be the hardest thing you've ever had to do, but it's going to be worth it. And it's crazy now because that hold on, I'm coming, I held on. I didn't know what I was holding on to. It's hard for me to believe in something that I couldn't see when everything or everybody that I could see had hurt me, or it was just hard. Life had just been hard. So I just held on. Stayed in the jail. I was in there 8 months. And my mom, she was friends with somebody in Baxley, and her daughter had been to Stillwaters. And I thought I was going to prison because I so many times I've been to rehab and rehab. They were just going to send me to RSAT, and I was like, no, if my time will just count, I'll just send me to prison. But I had different plans. Mom had mentioned something about a rehab that she didn't really know. She really didn't like to tell me. She just wanted to try to figure it out. But it all came down to it, and when I went to court, the DA was like, okay, we'll let you go to rehab, and Mom had found Stillwaters, and so that's where I was going. So I got there, and I was mandated 18 months at Stillwaters. And and it's amazing now because now I read the Bible and I know Psalms 23, and that was the thing on Stillwaters was Psalms 23, and He led me beside the still waters so He could restore my soul. So that scripture is alive in my life because He literally led me to still waters, and that's where He restored my whole life. He started there. Actually started before that, but I didn't see it until then. So when I got there, I was there, and it was just really hard. I mean, my one daughter was with my mom, the other daughter was with her grandma at the time. But I just knew, I remember when I got there, it was just really hard. I was like, I just want to stay, I want to run, try to run. But the people at Stillwaters, Bridget, and all the volunteers, and Saving Grace at the time, that's who was over it, and Miss Joanne and all of them. I don't want to miss anybody out because everybody in Coffee County had a part in saving me. I mean, it was Jesus, main one, but everybody had a part in loving me like Jesus before I even knew how to love myself. So it was just amazing. I got in there and just all the love and support, and I mean, we worked and we went to clean houses, and this is where the well comes in. We were cleaning houses, and we were cleaning her house, and in her shed, the well was sitting there, and I said, oh, I love that because I'm so country. And I'm a country girl. And I seen the well, and I was like, I love that. And she was like, we'll take it home and you can have it. And so, I mean, it didn't click with me. I just liked it because of the way it looked, it's country. So I take it back to Stillwaters, and Miss Joanne was like, well, good, you can do, next Thursday, you can do a thing on the Samaritan woman. And I looked over at Candace, one of the girls that was in rehab, and I said, where's that at in the Bible? Because I didn't know about the Bible. I didn't know where the stories were at. And she said, it's in John 4. So then I had to read that. I had to read it so I could study it, so I could actually share about the woman at the well. And that's where He met me. It's where I found a relationship with the Lord. I walked outside by the pond where I was baptized in, out there at Stillwater, and just was reading and just would write. I was just started writing down what I felt like I needed to write down, not knowing what would happen later. But I just remember reading it, and I was like, He was telling me, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, I love you, and I forgive you, and I want more for you. And that's where I found, I felt Jesus, I felt the Lord. and it changed my life. Like I had always felt like I was nothing, and at that moment, I knew that I had him. I had a different kind of love. It's just really hard to explain. But I was that woman. I had been to the well my whole life. Going back, I was that woman. The way I was shameful. I'd done a lot of things. I'd been with this man and that man. Always went searching for the wrong thing. But this time, I left with Jesus. I left with the Savior, just like she did. So, and I keep that to remind me, where I've been and where He met me. That's why I bring that everywhere I come, and I have it at my house, just a reminder. When things get tough, He's there. He's never left. He's always been there.
Yeah.
And just remind me to how far He's brought me to. And anyway, I graduated the rehab. I've been at my job for almost 5.5 years now.
Wow.
I got my girls, my oldest daughter, which I had no relationship with for 7-8 years. We have a relationship now. When we go to my mom's, when we have family dinners, she's like, "Man, you want to pray over the food?" And when I used to go over there, she'd hide her pocketbook and hide stuff so I wouldn't steal it.
That's awesome.
And then Brooklyn's with me, and he's just restored every single thing. And now he's at the point where he's working on me even more. Basically, this morning when I got up, I was listening to some worship music, and I felt this, that I had fought my whole life to have a life. And now I have to, now at the end of, now I fight. I get up every day for the girl that's about to stick a needle in her arm. For the teenager that don't know what to do, that's about to have an abortion. For someone that's lost their parents. For someone that's putting a gun to their head. Just so many things. All those things. For depression. I get up every day now to fight for those people. And at first it wasn't like that. It was, okay, God, what can you give me? What can I do? What can I do to get blessed? What can I do to get blessed? Mm-hmm. But now it's different. Now I just want to do His will. I want to love like He loves. I want to just touch one person. I get to go into the jails now. So when I was in the jail, I had a lady come in and share Jesus with me and love on me too. And now I get to talk with her and say, hey, I get to do the same thing you did for me. I get to give back. And it's amazing to walk in there and love on them, how I got loved on. And I just want to do that. I just want to be able to do my job. Anywhere I go, I just want to love people where they're at. And just share what God's done. Some people say, why do you always share some of the hard stuff? I said, because that's where He's wrong. I want people to know, hey, it don't matter where you come from or what happens or what you do, God can bring you out of that. You just have to surrender to Him. And I'm just a miracle. I shouldn't be here. I should be dead. I've been locked up. I've been in a crazy house. I thought I was going to lose my mind. Been in wrecks where I should have been dead. But God just had different plans. And even now, it just blows my mind. Like, why me, Lord? Why?
Yeah.
Why me? So why not you?
Exactly.
So, but I just want to thank Saving Grace, Coffee County, Stillwaters, everybody that's been a part of my recovery and helped me build a new life. It just means the world to me. I couldn't have done it, and I couldn't have been here without Jesus and everybody else to help me. I just know if something happens, I have somebody I can call, and they're there. And it's never been like that in my whole entire life. And I have that now. And if I go through anything, I know who I can call and open that Bible, and He's there. Okay. I'm just grateful, blessed. I want to be able to just love people where they're at, and and share Jesus and just share hope.
Yeah.
I mean, and mercy and grace. Like, I'm not here, only here because of mercy and grace.
Yeah.
Because I was terrible.
Yeah.
So terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm just really thankful, and I thank you. And I love that it's becoming, because it's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm becoming who He's called me to be.
Yeah.
And I just want to follow Him. That's all I want to do.
That's where everybody is on their own journey of that. You know, even if they're in the very beginning, even if they haven't even started yet, you know, they just don't even know it yet. And I think that it's so cool what you said about saving grace, the still waters, and everywhere like that, because I prayed and prayed and prayed for years for God to bring me to some just God-loving people that I can just fellowship with, and it's like a safe place where I don't have to worry about what's going to happen next, or who's going to get high today, who's going to get drunk today. He brought me to Coffee County. You know,
That's right.
I'm from an hour away. I've never been to
And I'm from Baxley, so that's what I wanted.
Man, it's just, I don't know what, the Holy Spirit is over this area so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And the people here are so loving, filled with the Holy Spirit. You know, they are like iron. And it's just beautiful. And so, but I did want to say also, because you said that, you know, when you were younger, when you were a little girl, when you were a little girl, you said that you were molested and then you were just looking for love.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through the exact same thing. And even now, to this day, the Lord is still teaching me why I search so hard for that intimacy is because the only one who can give that to me is Him. You know, and even with Jared sometimes I'm like, you don't love me, you know, but it's not him, it's me. It's because I'm not in my safe place with the Lord like I need to be, you know, and I'm not being filled with His love and His grace and His mercy like I should be all day, every day. And it's not like some checklist thing that you have to do either. You know, all you have to do is say, I'm here, Lord. You know, I just want to be with you. It's just me and you.
Once I got out of the rehab, you know, then I got my child back, and all the reading and all the stuff that I was doing to get so close to the Lord, you know, for a little while it was there.
Yeah.
And then life starts coming in, you know, then I have a child, and then it takes away time and my job, and then I had a new relationship, and the Lord's teaching me now, like, you can't let those things pull you away from my relationship with me, because it pulled me away and it hurt me, and now I'm having to start all back over again. But He's taught me what I have to do to get close to Him and to stay close to Him. I have to set boundaries. I was never good with boundaries. No is a full sentence. Somebody told me I love that. No is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
Really not good at saying no.
Me
So no.
Yeah.
So He's just teaching me so much more now, and it's everything that I go through. He's teaching me something, and I'm just grateful that I can sit back and say, okay, God, help me change.
Yeah.
Fix me where I need to be fixed,
Yeah.
and teach me what I need to do to not do that again.
Yeah.
That's what I pray all the time, every day now. I'm like, Your will, Lord, not mine, Your will. Because Mandy gets in the way. I'm just sick of getting in the way. I'm sick of falling and having to get back up over and over. I'm tired of those cycles. I said, Lord, whatever I need to fix in here to fix me from doing the cycles I want it to stop. I want You. I want Your heart. I want souls saved. I don't care about how much money I make, house I live in. I want what You want.
Yeah.
I want that heart. So.
I think that the beautiful thing too is because, you know, you were talking about the shame and the condemnation that you felt, you know, about putting your mom and your kids through everything that you did, but the Lord has completely restored that. And not only has He restored it, but He's using it for your good, because you get to go out and you have the experience to tell other women and even other men like, hey, this is what happened to me. This is what God brought me through. You know, I'm an overcomer. You can be an overcomer too.
And I want to share this because I was such a horrible mom. I didn't know how to be a mom. And now I get to teach Sunday school with children. And I have like all Brooklyn's teenagers and all her friends and all the ones at church. I have so many that just love on me and call me Mama Mandy. Like, that just blesses my heart.
Yeah.
I was a horrible mom to my kids. But I have so many beautiful children that come up and say, I love you, Mama Mandy. That's my godmama. It's just a blessing.
And now you're a safe place for them.
Yeah. It's just amazing what he can do, how he turns things around.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's amazing.
Just healing, it heals.
Yeah.
All those places that I was hurt. That love is just, thank you, Lord. That's all I can say.
So good. So good. Man, God is so good.
He just keeps doing it more and more. It's just amazing. Like, if he can do it for me, he can do it for anybody.
Yes, he can. Absolutely.
And I just want to just be able to share it with everybody. I just want to be able to meet people where they're at. I mean, anywhere, everywhere.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to feel, hey, talk with that person.
Yeah.
Share with that person. Smile at that person. I just want to know. I want the Lord to just use me.
It's amazing. And there's so many people that are exactly where most of us have been, and they don't even, because for me, I had no idea that a normal life was even possible.
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
I didn't know what a normal life was.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
Still not. I mean, not what everybody calls normal, but you know what I'm saying. But my life is, it's like heaven compared to everything I've been through.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to fight a little harder for,
Yeah.
but it's
So
worth it more.
man.
You're fighting for so much more. You're fighting for the kingdom. You're not fighting to survive.
Yeah.
It's a whole different feeling.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You just know you're going to be okay because you know God's going to be there. You know you got Him.
Yeah.
And He doesn't fail.
Ever.
We win. So.
Yeah. Always, no matter what.
That's exactly right. We have to go through it.
Yeah.
But He wins through it.
Yeah. And He'll give us the peace.
Mm-hmm.
If we'll just keep our eyes on Him, seek first the kingdom, and all will be added. So no matter what our circumstances look like or what we're going through, He, on the inside of us, will strengthen us to have good spirits while we're going through that, and He encourages us and He loves us, and it blows my mind. Because when I got saved, I was at Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say saved, but I guess I've gone to church my whole life. So, but that was when I really surrendered my life to Jesus, and I really started to have a relationship with Jesus. And I remember going into Covenant, and the first time I ever got a hug from Jackie Pope, I looked at Jared and I said, "Did you feel that?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh my gosh," because it was like, and then that whole week of the love conference was just people hugging me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm a hugger, so it was a dream come true for me. But it was like the first time I had ever felt, and it wasn't anything that they were doing. It was all God.
That's exactly right.
And it was the first time that I'd ever felt or acknowledged the love of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was addicted.
Yeah.
I was like, man, there is nothing better than this. And then it just changed my whole life. Just His love.
Yeah.
It wasn't about anything that I did, any prayer that I prayed,
Mm-hmm.
any fast that I did. It was all God's love.
It's just intense. It's so intense. I know.
It's so good. It's addictive.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just wild. I mean, but we're addicted to that. Now we're addicted to Jesus, and it's so much better than any high I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
There's just you can't describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, worshiping the Lord and feeling the Lord. There's nothing like it. There'll never be.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets stronger and stronger the more you surrender.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I wish I could just, I say this all the time when I go into the jail with the girls, I say, I wish I could just hand you my heart and let God show you the story of where he was at, every single piece of it. I wish I could do it so that they could feel and experience what he has done in my life. And it's like I tell them all the time, like in the Bible, I was Jacob, I wrestled with God. And then, at the woman at the well, that was Jacob's well. And then Mary, I'm not Mary, I didn't have Jesus, but I'm pregnant with purpose. And then Esther, for such a time as this, deliverance. There's just so many stories in the Bible where my life is there. And I just love it. When they say the Bible's alive, it's alive. And I know that because I have evidence.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I just want everybody to have that.
Yeah.
To experience his love and it's wild. It's just good.
So
There's no word for it.
There's not.
Nothing. There's
That's
not
why
a
we
word.
just keep saying that because you really can't explain
No, you
it.
can't describe it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Never will be able to.
Awesome. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mandy.
You're
I'm
welcome.
so glad that you came.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And I just pray that this touches somebody. I know it will.
Yes.
And so thank y'all so much for watching. I know Poppy was touched by this word today. And we will see y'all again next week.